What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Grist Family Podcast, where we talk about friendships, love, Christ, and everything in between. My name is Kimra. This is my husband, Greg. We are so glad you guys joined us today for our last episode of the season to talk about parenting for newbies.
Yeah.
Woo woo.
Man, parenting for newbies. The last one of season 2. Did y'all even realize that we're doing seasons? Did they? I don't even know if people ever realize.
I don't think we told them.
We're trying to
last time.
keep it, we're trying to do something.
We're trying to be like Netflix.
We're trying to be like Netflix, but Well, actually, no, because then we would be
Hulu,
putting all the episodes out in one.
We're
That's not
Hulu
how
more so.
We can't do that much, y'all. We can't do that much, and we don't want to wait. We don't want y'all to wait a whole year.
Yeah, that would be horrible.
Anyway, let's get into it.
All
right, y'all. So today we are talking directly to the newbie parents. Yes, you with the 6-day-old or the 2-week-old. Yes, we're talking to you because you are definitely freaking out right now. You're like, how did I get this little alien?
What just happened?
How did this little alien come out of me? And it's pooping and peeing everywhere, and it's constantly crying.
Like me.
And it doesn't like you. It only wants to see their grandparents. So we're going to be talking directly to you. And for our first one is this normal? And newbie parents, the answer is 99% of the time, yes. Because we know that, for one, man, like, our first, because like when we first had Selah, we were in the hospital for a couple of days. We had some relatively minor, but serious medical, issues. So she had to stay in the NICU for for a night, and then of course you always stay like an extra day at the hospital. And during those complications, it's already starting, man. Like, I mean,
your mind is racing.
Your mind is racing, your heart is jumping, but there's like this high level of excitement and thrill, but even some suspense. So like, babe, what are some of the things that these newborn parents are going through that they actually, give them some of the things that you already know they're questioning, like asking themselves, is this normal? Is this normal? Is this normal? Give them a few of them.
Yeah, I would say, at least from the hospital point, like just, the baby waking up all the time. Like that's an easy one. People don't realize how much a baby can wake up. Even though we were kind of blessed because Selah, she slept pretty good, but like she just to get her diaper change or something like that, and obviously feedings. But yeah, it's normal. Like, and yeah, you're supposed to wake them up. I think it's every 3 hours or something like that to feed because they only get this bit of milk. So yeah, that's normal. And then when you get home, like the sleeping, me and Greg, we were so like, why is this baby sleeping so much? She's new, 2 weeks old, and we're just like, she sleeps all the time. Like, she wakes up, she'll eat, and then she'll go back to sleep. And we were like asking everybody, and they're like, no, that's normal. Be happy in that stage.
Yeah.
And we were like, we want to play with her. Like at that stage, we were like, we want to play. We want to do all this stuff. And then when she woke up and started playing, and we were like, oh, we get it now.
Oh yeah. Just
now,
a few months later, it all starts to kick in.
It all starts to kick in. You gotta do more with the baby. So yeah, I would say babies will sleep all the time, like, and they only wake up to feed, and then when you change their diaper and everything. But
what about I'm trying to remember all the things that, because it's been a few years now, so I'm trying to gather all of the thoughts and all of the questions that we had asked ourselves back then. I know burping was one that was like, am I doing it right?
Yeah.
Am I doing
How
it
do
wrong?
you hold the there's multiple ways to burp a baby, and you'll learn that with your nurses and stuff like that or whatever. But like, I would say, like, for the best key tip that you can have is nothing is wrong, especially like mamas and daddies or whatever. Your instinct is the most thing that you should be trusting.
Yeah, just trust your
If
parental
you feel like you want
instincts.
to burp the baby on your lap, burp the baby on your lap. They're
Yeah.
still gonna burp.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you want to do the shoulder, whatever. But it's
Yeah.
just trust your own instincts. And the nurses will tell you that. At least my nurses did. They told me,
Yeah.
mama knows best, or
Yeah.
that saying. So like, just trust your instincts, like, and you'll be fine. And your baby won't smile for I think it's what 4 weeks or something like that. They don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember she didn't really have a smile like. It was like
Yeah. I
either a
mean,
month or something like that, and I was just like, she doesn't really like us, like.
yeah, it definitely felt like that. It definitely felt like,
Because we would
wait
be
a minute,
smiling
this
and
baby
doing
don't
all
like
this
me.
crazy stuff in front of her, and she just like the stern look.
Yeah. It seems like they like everybody but you.
Yeah.
They
And
like,
then yeah, that was the thing. She would cry when we would hold her, but then my mom would hold her and she was fine.
yeah, that's
And
probably
so
that experience we was lacking.
we felt some kind of
That motherly
way.
experience.
And it's normal if you want to cry and you do
Yeah.
cry. I'm just saying
Well, talk to all the ladies
from
about
experience.
we'll switch gears and get into a more in this same vein, but get into a more deeper part of this, because like is let's talk to all the women, the mothers that might be feeling elevated levels of stress and anxiety.
Yes. That
Is the
so
is
stress
the
and anxiety, it's normal. However, you can not cure it, but you can help with that by making sure that you're eating and you're sleeping, and you're getting your proper rest, not just like cat naps here and there, but actual sleep where you're having good, hopefully at least 7 hours of sleep while somebody can watch the baby or whatever the case may be. Because for me, I had a lot of postpartum anxieties and stuff like that because of the fact that I wasn't getting sleep. And I had the bassinet right next to the bed, and I'm always waking up, and I would just wake up in the middle of the night and stuff like that. So like, just making sure that you're getting your proper sleep and you're getting your proper food and water.
yeah.
Because us human bodies, we actually have to have that. So
Yeah.
to function. so
Yep.
so I would say that. Also, for me, and this is like, I guess, a parenting tip, somebody told me to have the baby away from your bed or whatever, because our bassinet was connected to our bed. They had the ones that connect to the bed, and it made me want to always look up and look over and stuff like that all the time, and that caused me not to sleep or whatever and have the anxiety and stuff. So it's okay for you to have your baby's bassinet away from your bed, so you actually have to get up or whatever, and then that will make you less of you always waking up, because you're not gonna want to get up as much.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. The bassinet thing was a tough thing, because as a new parent, you just want them close to you. You just want to hold them and have them really close to you. But it's important that you set some boundaries early, just because it will help you later. It'll definitely help you later a lot. Especially now, it probably will be. This may apply a little bit differently to mothers that are breastfeeding, because they, but I guess it's still,
for me, like, even though I didn't breastfeed as long or whatever, but I would still say it's the same, because like, you're actually still going to have to get up to breastfeed the baby or bottle feed the baby, and stuff like that. So I would say the same applies. It's just, and that's just for me. Some people are okay with having their baby right next to them and it doesn't bother them, they, whatever. But for me, I guess I'm a little bit more anxious, and, having her right there. And I'm just always thinking in my mind, oh, I got to make sure she's not, she's breathing, or she, whatever the case may, is she crying, and stuff like that. And so I never had any sleep. So, because I was just constantly, I heard a rustle and I'm always, trying to get up.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just better that for next baby, they will be away from our bed. They will still be in the room, but I would have to get up.
Yeah. I mean, and we are not even going to, we're just touching the tip of the iceberg when it comes to these, is this normal? There's like literally a thousand questions that are going to come up,
For
but
sure.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of any last ones before we move on.
Yeah.
I know, with, sleeping, how about sleeping on the back versus the stomach?
Um, I don't know
Because,
that. I can't remember like what the recommendations are.
well, the
It's
recommendation
been
was
two.
to have
Was
them
it?
sleep on their stomach.
Oh, was it? Okay. So then I did. I
But I
think we
think I
followed the
think Selah would
recommendation.
turn over.
Yeah, and I think if from what I remember, and this is 2 years ago, so if they roll over themselves, it's okay. But if you just place them
On their back.
on their
Yeah.
back, it's not. So
Yeah.
because obviously if you're sleeping, they're sleeping, and they just roll over, then they just roll over. But and usually at newborn stage, they're not rolling over.
Yeah.
They're usually in one place. But as they get older, they wiggle. They're little wiggle worms.
They are.
So
And if you have any, just go to a new parenting class. I mean, we did a
yeah, we did
pre-parent, like
a birthing class.
a
It
birthing
was
class,
yeah, a
which was
birthing
really
class.
helpful, but it really
Yeah,
focused more on the
the
birthing,
birthing part. Yeah,
the birthing part and how to get through that. But regardless, I wish we had did more of like an actual class, but we got through our the
yeah.
infancy just fine. So, you know,
We had a lot of family members that could kind of give us tips
tips.
and stuff there, and
Yeah.
family members and friends that gave us a lot of tips. So if you have
Yeah.
a good community around
Yeah.
you, obviously that helps or whatever. But if you don't, like, I would definitely recommend taking parenting classes,
Mhm.
especially like if you've never had babies around you, like as growing up and stuff like that too, because some people, they like, I had me and my younger sister are 14 years apart, so I was 14 when she was born, so I was used to babies too. So
Mhm.
and then I have my niece and nephew as well. So but if you're not used to babies, I would definitely get a parenting class.
Yeah. Just take a class.
Yeah,
Don't
it's
be
good for you.
don't act like you know it all.
Yeah.
Just take the class.
Hmm.
All right,
Yeah.
what's next?
So yeah, so that was the newborn stage, I would guess you would say. And then the next stage would be infant stage. So infant stage is between what, after they're fresh, I would say like 2 to 3 months into about uh tw- um
Well, 12 to uh wait.
maybe 3 months to 12 months.
Oh, before we were just talking about like newborns, like, and
Yeah,
then
the fresh babies. Yeah.
because like I think everything past newborn is like what, like 3
3 months.
months or something
Yeah,
like
three.
that.
Yeah, I think it's 3 months, three to 12, or
3
whatever
months.
months. And so
Maybe
infant
so.
stage, um, the new thing that you're worried about probably is my child meeting the milestones.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, the milestones.
And you got all these
This is
apps
where it
in
really
our
gets.
era, all these apps.
Yeah, highly recommend use your technology. Let your
Yeah.
technology help you.
However, I wouldn't overly obsess about the
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
that's an internal thing. So you have to figure out, and that's why we're making this video. We're really not making this video to just spew out a bunch of tips and tutorials. We're really here to comfort you guys and basically say that you'll get
Yeah.
through it and you'll be
Yeah.
fine. Here's some things, but
And
what you need to know more than anything
is
is that
everything's gonna be fine.
everything's going to be fine. 99.9999995% of
For sure.
everything is normal.
Yep.
Ask people,
Hmm.
questions. But, this is the stage I feel like the infancy was like prime for all the questions in the world. Like,
Hmm.
oh my
Is
gosh,
this
like the
normal? Is this
milestones
normal?
is like, okay, she's not crawling, like, or he or she is not crawling.
And they're supposed to do it by
Yeah.
4 months.
But then they talk to you about all these different types of crawling. where this type of
Army
crawl
crawl.
tells you that they're a little bit closer to full crawling, and it
Mm.
just gets so you can get
You
so
can get caught
overwhelmed.
up
You can
in
get
it.
overwhelmed with all that, and you're just
Yeah.
because you're just like, oh, if they don't do that one, they're like gonna
There's
miss
something
it.
wrong. No, there's nothing wrong.
I'll tell
Trust
you
and know.
this. I'll tell you this now. Sayla basically, she just kind of took her time and
Yep.
then speed through like a lot of her milestones. So like
Yeah.
she would take forever and it'd be like, oh my
She
gosh,
be
like
on the last month
the
that
last month that they say it's
you
not they okay,
you
this is
might want to start
normal.
worrying.
And then they're like, you're about a month away from it being not normal. And then but you're sitting there twiddling your thumbs like, man, she ain't showing no progress. That girl just still
She
laying
ain't
on her
sitting
back.
up.
She just ain't sitting up. She ain't holding her neck up. That neck be weak. So like,
And
that's just,
she's fine, guys.
and
She's
she's
fine.
fine.
There's nothing wrong with her. She's a toddler now, but
Yeah, she's a straight up toddler now.
Oh gosh.
And we'll get to that part. But
Mhm.
yeah, like, but it's good to ask questions.
Mhm.
But the infancy stage is definitely the beginnings of all the really
Trying to make sure.
really
Yeah.
difficult things as far as like making sure that they're hitting their milestones. Are they,
Yeah.
is she, and then even like are their teeth growing in?
Oh yeah.
Are they starting to, look at you and like try to understand what you're
Or
saying or
cooing.
cooing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all those little things, and then I think even mama and dada is in there too, where they're supposed to be saying
That's
that.
like later
That's
in
like 11,
infancy.
10
That's like the
months.
last stages
Yeah,
of
but
infancy, I
even
think.
still, like all that, like, and
I think
it's normal. And just know, I would say, just know that don't stress about it. Like, I stopped looking at the app because of the fact that I guess I'm obsessive about things sometimes, and I want to make the marks or whatever. So so I just stopped looking at it, and I was just like, okay, she's doing that now. Okay, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, if you're a very goal oriented person and you're like, and if it's all about hitting those goals and those checkpoints, then I'd probably recommend you
don't even
really
get the app.
I would say you can, but really like really be cognitive.
Don't look at
and
it.
Think and conscious of how much you're using it.
Yeah.
Because like there's still a lot of useful information. The app is there to help
yeah.
you. It's not there to make you more anxious. It's there to help you. But at the end of the day, you can't be stressing yourself out when you already got 100 other reasons to be stressed out about.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the next big, I would guess you would say, big stressor that people worry about, because now you've done your maternity leave and it's almost time to go back to work.
So it's time to come back to work, y'all.
What you gotta do?
No more COVID, no more none of that stuff.
Is the baby going to
back
daycare, or are they staying home? If you got somebody,
you gotta go back in. Ain't no remote work no more. You gotta go back.
I know, yeah. And COVID had just started when I went back to work with Sayla.
Yeah, literally like the same
but
month.
Nobody had shut down yet. So like,
March, because she was born in November,
and I went back in March,
and then you went back in March, and then literally like a few weeks later, it was like, COVID-19, and we're like, what?
But yeah, so like, don't stress about it, and like, yes, daycare, your kid is gonna get a cold or two. Or 3.
That's a whole thing.
4.
We got to talk about that.
Or 5. That's the bullet point we're about to be on.
Okay.
Because your kid, okay, this is what I figure. Your kid's either going to get a cold when they're 3 months old, or they're going to get a whole bunch of colds, worse colds, when they're in kindergarten.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, your kids got to go to school.
They got to build their immune system.
They got to build their immune system. And yes, and I'm not knocking anybody who wants to keep their kid home. I wish I could, but our circumstances, we have to work. So,
But I want to stress something I'm a big fan and I'm a big advocate for child social social development.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't realize how like important that really was. So, and like even in COVID, like during the COVID period. Like our daycare stayed open, God, thank God, but they took,
For the most part, yeah.
they took full they took full
Precautions.
precautions with COVID, and they did an excellent job to to keep the kids healthy and to keep the
And
to
safe.
keep everybody safe. Um, um, but basically, like, your child really needs this. They need other children specifically, not just you. They need other children, and they need other children around their age, because I mean, we haven't had a kid. Obviously, this is our first child, and we brought her into daycare very early.
Hmm.
Like, what was it, like
3 months.
8 weeks? It was like 8 weeks, 6 weeks. So it was like 8 weeks.
She
She
was,
was started.
she was 3 months.
Yeah. So yeah, 3 months. She was about 3 months old, and
Hmm.
and obviously, like, they have daycares with the babies where they can take.
Yeah,
I don't know if all daycares
yeah,
take
most
babies
daycares do.
like infants, but
Yeah.
um, so it's even in that very young stage, I felt like it was very beneficial. Obviously, like, if you are not okay with or not comfortable with putting your child that young in daycare, for sure, I could definitely understand that.
Do
But I
play
would say
groups.
be very, very, like, vigilant about making sure that they're around other kids. I'm not saying that that's like an absolute must for them to be like sociable kids later on, but I can just think of, looking back, if we hadn't put her in daycare, and, like, one of us stayed home from work, or for a longer period of time, or left our jobs or whatever, or stopped working. Like, I can't imagine, like, because we actually don't we have a lot of friends, but, like, sometimes, like, our schedules don't line up, so sometimes we're not
Yeah.
able to, like, hang out with our friends. So for
Hmm.
her, especially specifically our friends with kids. So, for her to have a daily interaction with kids her age was, I can't even think of how valuable
Yeah.
that really is.
And
So
if you just don't want to have your kid being watched by somebody else because you're able to watch your kid or whatever the case may be, definitely look into play groups, because my mom had like I said, I had a sister that's 14 years younger than me, and my mom stayed home with her or whatever,
mhm,
but she would find play groups for her to go to. So they went to play group like once or twice a week or whatever, just so that she could be social with other kids. And my mom also was social with the moms that were there,
mhm,
moms or dads that were there, because
mhm.
as a new parent, you're gonna want to talk to adults again.
Yeah,
It's gonna, yes, the baby is, it feels like it's your life or whatever and stuff like that, but you also want to still have adult time and
yeah.
socialize with your own age people. So
Yeah, I really wish we did that, as in the early stages, is really, but our earliest stages was COVID. So there was a lot of, obviously, social distancing, and
yeah.
and obviously not trying to be close to people. But I
Yeah, it was
feel
a
like
weird
it
time,
was a
but
weird time, but at the same time, like, like, now that, for the most part, the COVID, you know, pandemic is seemingly over. Um, I would say, make sure it's for your own good, parents. Like, make
yeah.
sure that you
But at the end of
have those kiddie dates, and
I would just also say, just at the end of the day, don't feel fearful of a cold. Your kid's gonna get a cold. You've had colds. Everybody on this earth has had a cold, and if you haven't, that's a miracle. And y'all need to write in the comments that you've
that'd be
never had a
scary if
cold
you
in
never
your
had a
whole
cold, because then you
life.
wouldn't know how to
I
deal with
need
a
to know
cold
what kind of person
at
you are.
adult. Yeah. Well,
um so we all get colds. Yes, they're not the greatest, and that's not what we want, to happen or whatever, but if it does happen, it's not the end of the world, and stuff like that.
hmm
And I do understand there's some kids that have, weaker immune systems and stuff like that. Obviously, be cautious in those circumstances, but for the most part, a healthy kid that has a healthy immune system,
hmm
it's okay for them to have a few colds,
Yeah, and like for real,
and
like
it
it's
builds.
very normal for them to be sick like every week or every other week,
Yeah,
where like they're sick for 3 or 4 days, and
yeah,
that's
and then they could
and I
bounce
tell
back.
you what,
And
like that's the
honestly,
most difficult part was just and because right off the bat, all you're probably thinking like, oh my god, I got to take off work a lot, or oh my goodness, like or but obviously more probably
hmm
more prominently, you'll be thinking, oh my God, why is my kid so sick all the time? Like, is this
yeah,
really like how it's supposed to be? Like, yes, like when they're first, well, I will say this is normal. I'm not going to say it's supposed to be this way, but it's very normal for your kid to be very sick. Like,
yeah.
not very sick, but like fevers,
Fevers
especially
are normal.
fevers are
However,
normal.
obviously, depending on the temperature, and you'll learn that through all the books that you read, all the blogs, whatever that you read. I'm not going to give medical advice because we're not medical. Well,
Yeah.
I'm a medical professional, but I'm not a doctor.
Yeah. Now we're not
Yeah,
pediatricians.
we're not pediatricians or anything like that. But so you read all the books of what you're supposed to look for when it comes to a fever.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it is normal. They are going to get a fever. We've had fevers as kids ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
adults. So
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
it happens, and you just deal with it in the moment. And I would say take one step at a time. Like, don't freak out and go down this rabbit hole of things
Right.
that my kid's
Yeah.
gonna be scarred forever, and stuff like that.
Or just
Because
remember, babies and infants, they're still humans.
and babies and infants bounce back much quicker from
Oh yeah.
colds and stuff than
Then like older,
adults.
yeah,
Like,
adults and older
'cause
kids.
we had got one one of those, was it the whooping cough?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
the
the whooping
whooping
cough.
cough.
I had
and
got it,
and she bounced back really good, but we was
and it
like, what the heck?
it like messed me up when I got it,
Yeah,
or you know, and it was
yeah,
just like it. And now I feel like it's like I feel like ever since I've had it, it just every cold is like reminds me of that.
yeah.
So
So anyway, yeah. So
anyway,
there you go. There you have it on daycares and colds. Um, another big thing that people have issues with is solid foods.
yes,
So and there's so many literature on when to start your kid on solid food, how to start your kid on solid foods, and stuff like that.
mm-hmm.
Just know your kid. Like,
Yeah,
every kid's different. Like, literally,
because
like,
my little girl was looking at my chicken
yeah,
like pretty early.
yeah.
She was just like she was looking
She
at it
didn't
like,
want no bland
and she would
foods.
watch me fork it, and I would look at her when I'd be like going to eat it, and I'd be watching her look at me, and I saw her eyes follow the fork, and she's like, I want that. I want
Not
that.
that we gave her chicken at four
Yeah.
months old.
No, I didn't
We
give
did
her
not do
chicken.
that. But just know your kid. Like, test new things out. Don't be afraid to test new
Yeah.
things out. Um,
Yeah.
you know, yes, there are food allergies, but
I
just
mean,
try it.
I mean,
You never
yeah.
know.
We can't tell you to just
Yeah.
do whatever, but at the same time, like you have
For
to
their
like,
age group.
you have to find out somehow.
Yeah.
So, either I don't know, either go to
I
a
don't know
doctor
how to.
first and
Yeah,
and
ask your
ask them,
pediatrician mostly, but
what their
I guess
diet should look like.
the reason why I put this point in here is because I just want people to not be fearful um, of trying things for their
Yeah.
kids or
It
whatever,
seems like all
because
these
I
kids
feel
got
like
allergies.
so many people are like, oh no, you stay on milk,
Strawberries.
but like, honestly, I think if we stayed on milk with Sayla till she was 6 months, she would be starving. Cause
Oh yeah. We
started her
got her
on
into
4 or 5 months or whatever.
like they talking about like the little
Just
the
baby
little
foods,
fruit, little
like,
veggie mush, the
yeah,
little
like the
mush,
purees
the
that I would
purees.
make and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
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 and
she,
you
if I started her at 6 months, but my baby she came out 8 pounds, so she was much bigger,
she
and
needed
she
food.
needed more food or
Yeah.
whatever. And to this
And
day, like, she eats really good.
yeah. And
And she doesn't have like and what I will say is, make sure that you're giving your kids a variety of foods, because my Sayla does not have like aversion to any types of, not a lot of foods or whatever. It's very rare that she doesn't like something, it's
Yeah.
she don't like mashed potatoes, but that's a weird, but
I feel
but
like she did at one
she
point,
doesn't like mashed potatoes. I don't know
but
why, but just
prioritize the fruits
yeah.
and veggies though. I think like one thing we did well was, well, one thing she did well was just prepare Selah's baby food like man, like by
Fresh.
hand, fresh, like organically.
Yeah,
Like
I
she
got
got the
squash.
squash.
I
Like
Instapot is gonna be your best friend because you can just you can cut that squash up. You don't gotta
yeah.
skin it or nothing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in the butternut squash is what I used or whatever. Put that in the Instapot with a little bit of water, steam it,
Yeah.
and then you just scoop it out and mash it.
Yeah, and at the
Perfect.
same time, like she was eating that, but she was also doing her bottle.
Yeah,
So
she's still doing bottles.
it's just kind of this like, oh, see what they want, if they're interested in it, like
They're gonna eat it.
and if it's like if the app says she's 6 weeks too early to be trying out this, but she's showing a real interest
Real
in this,
sign, yeah,
then you
give it.
may want to just go ahead and give it
Ask
to
your
them. Like
pediatrician, but
ask your pediatrician. We're not medical, we're not doctors in that manner, but at the
yeah.
same time, like we could definitely you know we can definitely say for a fact that there was a lot of things Selah just was she was celebrated, y'all, as we call it. She was celebrated
when it comes to food.
yeah
So
yeah
she likes seasonings too. So like
yeah
we never gave her salt, but like we would use like the little seasonings,
salt-free seasonings. They have like
the
little,
Mrs. Dash type salt seasonings
yeah,
and stuff
but
like that that have no
just
salt
like
in
a couple
them,
sprinkles of it,
or dill, like you put in dill and stuff. Or
Mm-hmm.
I don't make sure you know what age group they can have certain seasonings and stuff, but
Yeah,
she likes cinnamon too.
but she started eating meat like earlier than what the rest of the world says they're typically supposed to be eating meat, man. And mainly because we noticed that she grew teeth pretty quickly. Like
Yeah.
she grew all her
Which
teeth
that's
like
part of
very
my
quickly.
family.
Yeah, like so when they start growing teeth, that means they're ready to like
Gnaw on
eat.
something.
They're ready to use those
No.
teeth to grind
No.
stuff. Some
Especially
chicken.
because they itch. Them teeth itch.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
And that's another thing is like the whole, and then we're going to teething. And are we
Mhm.
even supposed to talk about that? Or?
Yeah, you can talk about it. I didn't
Because
write it on here,
teething
but-
and the fevers is like hand in hand. I mean, some
Even though they
professionals
say
say, it seems like half professionals say there's no relation to fevers specifically with teething. And there's a good portion of them that say yes, but there's an even greater population of real world experience parents that actually believe and know it, and we're and see it. Like we're also in that camp too.
Yeah.
We personally believe that teething. Or fevers can be attributed to teething,
Yes.
simply because of the very acute timing of it. Like it just, and it's their bodies are going through a process of, their gums and all that. So
You just
when you
give them a nice cold teething
give
ring.
them a teething ring, and if they don't like teething rings, give them a little popsicle. They make them little popsicles.
They do that, or you can they have these little things that are mushy, or they're like these little netted things. You can put berries or whatever in there, and then they can gnaw on that, and it kind of scratches their gums for them and stuff like that too. So.
Just don't give them no Doritos, y'all.
Yeah, don't give them no Doritos. They
I
can't.
know some of y'all.
I still don't give Selah no Doritos. She's too.
Yeah, I know. No, potato chips is not
scary
really
about that. But
we don't even give her potato chips like that, right?
Yeah, I've given her like Lay's because they melt down pretty good.
Yeah, we'll give them
and I'll give her. I give her the like the Tostito chips, but I break those up and I'm watching her while she's eating those. So
yeah,
but yeah, you just gotta watch your kid, and see what they like or whatever, and you'll be surprised at how advanced your kid actually is. If you don't baby them too much.
Honestly, we never talked about the breastfeeding versus formula.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just like for breastfeeding. Like honestly, like I will try with my next one. Like my first one, I didn't know it was that hard, y'all.
Yeah, and that's normal for it to be. I
I was
would
like,
say
oh
it's normal
Lord,
for it to be hard.
and she
But they
bit
don't
me
get
one
that
good
latch.
time, and I
They
was
don't get
just
that
like,
latch.
okay, I'm done.
They got to get
I
that latch right.
screamed, and yeah, it was just a wrap. We just
Yeah.
wrapped that up.
So
It was
needless to
only two
say,
weeks, but
we moved forward with
with
formula pretty
bottle
quickly.
pretty quick. Sorry.
So don't feel bad, moms out
Yeah,
there,
don't feel
because
bad.
like it's really hard. I watched
It was
Kimra
very
deal
hard.
with that very difficult. It was very
Yeah.
difficult for her
I
to,
even tried to pump, but that was
you
even
know,
hard too. It was just, and then on top of that, I was having postpartum anxiety. So I just had a lot as a new mom because, like, even though, like, they have all these, like, take all the classes that you can, like, because, like, I thought I was prepared, but when it came to actually experiencing the newborn and coming home and actually, the breastfeeding, you can't experience breastfeeding until you actually have the baby and stuff like that, so you
yeah,
don't really know
yeah,
how that's gonna work and how much pain it is. People say it's painful, but then you're like, is it really painful? This is somebody who hasn't ever breastfed, and so that's what was going on in my head, and
yeah.
then I realized, okay, it is painful.
Well, it's painful
you
when they
know
don't latch on right,
well, yeah, when
and
they don't latch on
that was
right,
the hard
and
part is that we
yeah,
just
and
never
getting through
figured, we
that.
just never got over that hump, and it
Exactly.
was too
And
over, it was too
it was just
overwhelming.
so overwhelming at the time. I had the postpartum anxiety, and it was just too much for me at that moment in time, and I had to do the best thing that was best for me
Hmm.
because of the fact that I wouldn't have been able to function. So
Yeah.
and new moms, I would tell you that, like, don't make yourself miserable like, just because you're like, oh, they say this is the best way. If
Yeah,
your kid
nah,
is
don't go down
eating,
that.
if your kid is eating, they're taking
That's
a
the best
bottle,
way.
that's the best way. Are they getting fat? If they're getting
If they're
fat,
gaining weight,
that's the best
yeah.
way. At the end of the day, they're gonna
Hmm.
come out healthy or whatever, and it's not because you didn't breastfeed for the 12 months or whatever,
Yeah,
or 24 months, whatever, and stuff like that.
yeah,
And even if you did, that's awesome, and stuff like that, because I praise you because you save money, which I wish I could have done because I thought I was going to do that, and stuff like
yeah,
that. But it's just like,
yeah,
don't stress about how you feed your baby. Your baby's getting fed. God put
yeah,
God put the nutrients in all the plants and foods or whatever. So if
yeah,
you feel like, oh, well, I didn't give the nutrients when they were newborns and stuff like that, guess what? They're gonna have to start eating solid foods, and God put every nutrient that we need in those foods. So
yeah,
just make sure that you're giving them the proper vegetables and fruits that they need, and proteins that they need in order to sustain life,
yeah.
and you'll
And
be fine.
exactly. And I mean, like, and don't, I would just, to finalize this, is like, moms, don't feel that pressure that kind of y'all probably put on yourselves and society will put on you, as far as the breastfeeding pros and cons and the benefits, and it does this and this for you and your baby, and you're supposed to and it makes you closer and all that. Like, don't don't fall into
Because
that trap.
trust and know, my baby is just as close to me
Yeah,
as
yeah. You're gonna
probably a
develop that
breastfed baby.
relationship with your baby
Yeah.
regardless.
Hmm.
So just stay encouraged
Spend time
and
with your baby. That's what
spend
makes
time.
makes the bond stronger.
Skin to skin, y'all.
Skin to
Skin
skin,
to
all
skin.
that.
That's what really matters. I think
Yeah.
I think it's the skin to skin that
And the
and
snuggle,
and
just
just the snuggling.
snuggles, and just being with it. Even as a 2 year old, like, we were sitting here on 4th of July, and, like, I was just snuggling with her, watching a movie, and she just enjoyed that. I could tell, but because she was just, like, laying on me and just, like,
Yeah.
happy as could be. So now I've built that bond with her,
Yeah.
because she was like, mommy sat and watched this whole
Hmm.
movie with me, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
And and our 2-year-old is, I don't know if it's just because she's pretty affectionate, or if that's just a sign that we've gave her a lot of affection at an early age. But our 2-year-old, our baby, is very affectionate. She'll come and sit in our laps just without asking, or just and that's her telling us, like, and I'm
hmm
sure you all will do the same. So
yeah,
just be aware of those little signs, because those are the
love that
things that
baby.
speak louder than anything. Is like,
Hmm
does your child just walk up to you and want to be close to you,
Yeah.
those are all kind of signs. And if they're not, don't be discouraged. Just kind of show them that affection in the first place,
Yeah.
and then they'll kind of catch on. And I mean, but like in the beginning, you're gonna have to, because the baby's so small that they have to be held very close, and it just kind of like
it's a natural
it's
thing.
a natural occurrence, like, and that's why it's like babies are supposed to be cuddled and nurtured and held, like so fathers and husbands, y'all do it too. All right. That skin to skin is just as important.
Necessary.
And it's especially, I think especially, regardless for both genders, but especially if you have a daughter, a daughter, that they need to feel that strength and that love from their daddy. So do it anyway.
I think that's it for the infant stage.
Right.
And then we're going to do a quick run through of the toddler stage, just where we're at now.
That's where we're at now, y'all. So this is going to be more of like we're going to be venting a little bit. We're going to be, we might come out a little
more stronger.
We might come off a little stronger with this part, but just bear with us, y'all.
So toddler stage, it starts out beautiful though. Like at 12
does
months.
It?
It does, babe. Because at 12 months, they're like starting to walk. They take their first step, and well, at least our baby did. I mean, I know some babies a little bit more accelerated, and they start at 8 months.
Yeah, some babies climbing walls, and they all over the cabinets.
Our baby started at 12,
climbing the
at
house,
the end of 12 months,
doing somebody's taxes and all that, and changing oil and all that. Yeah, no, our baby wasn't there yet, but she hit her milestones.
I ain't trying to do all that, but whatever. Now she's walking all over the place and climbing over everything. But so they start walking and saying words and they're actually engaging more, and the like the mommies and daddies like start to really sound like they're clear.
Really pronounced, like they also say mommy and daddy and
food.
and food and all these
all these words, little words. It's so cute.
I think it's the beginning. The beginning of the toddler stage is the beginning of like the fun stage for kids, because like in the beginning it's more about just keeping them alive. I know, you gotta keep them. You just gotta not let them die. But then it's you're actually like, okay, they have enough independence to like be little human beings that still obviously need guidance, but they're like at that point it's so
it starts out nice and just so cute. Everything's just so cute. And then like
it's like a Pampers commercial.
It's
like a Huggies commercial.
And you're just like, okay, now they're eating this and now they're eating
We love
that.
Huggies, y'all.
Oh yeah, Huggies are our favorite.
Huggies, if you're out there,
they don't leak, they don't do nothing, like and they got boxes that got coloring on them, so you can break open the box and it's a coloring book. I
mean, Huggies didn't sponsor this video, but Huggies, if y'all out there, let's talk.
We still using y'all for pull-ups.
Let's chat a little bit.
Anywho, so it starts out cute. They start walking and talking and just loving, and the Sour Patch Kids. That's how it is. It's first they're sweet.
Oh, I didn't know I was like, candy.
Wait, no. I'm sorry. Okay, that's wrong. That's a wrong analogy, because Sour Patch Kids start out sour and then they're sweet, or whatever.
Yeah, and toddlers are that too.
Well, not the 1-year-olds. I would say the 1-year-old, she wasn't throwing tantrums and stuff. At least our 1-year-old wasn't. 2, that girl
was sour.
Now she's a Sour Patch Kid.
She be sour some
Sometimes
mornings.
She's cute though.
And then she'll just be the sweetest thing, and it's just
and give you hugs.
Oh
and
man!
Stuff. So but just know, I say all this. I'm not trying to out her or whatever. I say all this is just know that the tantrums are normal. It's just because kids are trying to communicate to you, and they get frustrated if they don't know a word or don't know how to communicate what they're trying to communicate to you. So the only way they know is to cry. So that's why it's normal. Yes, when they get 2-year-old, they're a little bit more defiant and stuff like that. So you got to figure out which one are they frustrated or are they just being defiant, and stuff like that. But it is normal for them to throw tantrums and they get real frustrated.
Yeah.
And at 2-year-old, also, they're trying to learn how to share, especially if they're an only child or whatever. And that's very frustrating to them
Yeah.
because all their toys are their toys, and so
Yeah, especially as an only child, which obviously most kids are only childs when you have your
yeah,
first child. I mean, they're
yes.
going to be only
So
childs for a while. So,
so all of that is normal. You just have to reassure them that this it's you need to share with others or whatever, and just constantly teach them how to share with others and utilize stuff that, like, maybe you get. Sailor likes watermelon, so I get a big bowl of watermelon and I say, Sailor, we're gonna share this bowl of
yeah.
watermelon. And she might say, no, mine. but
Yeah.
but you say, no, it's nice to share sometimes, and stuff like that. And so
Yeah.
just teaching them how to share and different things like that, because they're two, they still don't understand completely, and
Hmm.
it can be it can,
It
it
can
can
be a
be
lot,
a
y'all.
little frustrating at
It can
times,
be a lot,
but
man.
but
It'll push you around, and
as a parent, we know we're supposed to know how to control our temper.
yeah.
So if you don't feel that you can at that moment, because there's times where I had to walk away because I was frustrated.
Yeah.
Luckily, I have a husband who kind of stepped in and said, this is what we're going to do, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mommy's going to take a break and whatever. But
Yeah.
you know
And I think
and
that's a big strategy. And now that's like shifting gears back to just the strategy as a couple, like
yeah,
really just picking up on where the other person needs that second to
yeah,
breathe.
mm-hmm, yeah,
Because it's a lot, and you don't want to automatically think that your other has
got it all
got
together.
it going all the
Mm-hmm.
time, that they have to, sometimes, and it's best for you to tell them, like I'll, sometimes I'll just tell her, like, babe, just I got this, just go over there, or just
Yeah.
go, wash clothes or something, or
Mm-hmm. Do
I'll
something
take
else.
care of
Yeah.
it. And then, and she'll do the same for me. And
Mm-hmm.
so
Working
that
together as
work
a
yeah
team.
working
Yeah.
together as a team, which is going to be huge in your success, especially in this toddler phase, like,
Yeah.
more than anything, like, I feel like more than the other first two phases, like the teamwork part was, because I feel like in the infancy stage, like, there's just some things that it just has to be the mama, like, it just
Mm-hmm.
the mama has to just do it, because it's just like, as a father, I felt certain intuitive moments were just reserved for her and her mom,
Mm-hmm.
and then there on the other side, I felt like I had to take control and just say, nope, this is
What we're doing.
a me and, her and daddy time, and
Mm-hmm.
I have to take control over this situation. So just being kind of really in tune with that.
With
But
each other. Yeah.
the the teamwork part is important in all phases, but
Yeah.
I feel like it really starts to come together just because you get a much more, like, an independent child is a lot harder to deal with
Mm-hmm.
than a child that literally physically can't move around. And
Yeah.
because, like, when they're infants, they just lay on their backs all the time, you know what I'm
And
saying? Or they lay
y'all
on the boppy
embrace
pillow.
that stage.
Embrace that
Oh
stage,
my
man.
gosh.
I got so much done so quick,
Oh,
yo.
we could go to the bathroom
I
and
go to the
she'd still be there.
bathroom and she could still be there and just waiting, just looking
Man.
at the ceiling, because that's all she could do. But now
We tried to put up a gate. I remember when she was like 10 months or something. What was it? It had to be like 11 months because she was crawling
yeah,
then.
she was
And
crawling.
she was breaking down the gate and
Yeah,
stuff.
pulling the gate and stuff. Because we didn't
We're
have
like,
like a
hey, we
spot to,
can't
like,
sit
really
her.
like, because our
The way I
downstairs
remember
is an
it's an
entire
open
open
concept.
concept, so
Yeah.
there's no way to, like,
Blocks her in.
like jimmy the so we had to, like, literally, like, use our recliner and use,
Ghettoize
like,
it.
yeah, it was not pretty, and it didn't really work that well.
No.
So,
Because she broke out all the time. So, yeah.
so
But yeah, so embrace that stage where they don't move and they're just there.
yeah,
'Cause
yes,
it's
embrace
nice.
that, and just know there is a phase on the horizon that will not,
Get
you just won't be
ready.
able to get anything done, and you just gonna have to face the fact
Yeah.
that, like, you just
Wait
can't
till they go
don't
to
try to
sleep.
get work done, don't try to, like, if you're a work at home person,
Yeah.
don't even try, because like your child at that point is like, you need to work that out, because like they're the priority. Like I know you're trying, like
they're like,
make
we need
sure
to play
you
ponies right
figure
now.
out your work situation. That's why we had to put her in daycare, because like we just had to both work.
So
even with me being a freelance entrepreneur, like, you know, there's times I have to get up and go to a shoot. Like I can't just say I can't bring my kid with me. I can't bring my infant with me. So like, you know, it just,
so that's the beauty of daycare too.
That.
So yeah. Let me see. Yeah, we did tantrums. So yeah, I think that's a wrap. I don't know if you have anything else. I was just gonna say, well, I wrote a little quote. I guess I can read the quote. You think?
Yeah, read it.
I just said, just know throughout all this, God blessed you with this beautiful child to care for, and they have their own personality and will have great days, okay days, and bad days. But at the end of the day, they have your love and guidance through the Holy Spirit to become the best version of themselves that God desired them to be. So
that was really good, babe.
Thank you.
I might put some text over that and
I'm
just
an author.
Yeah, put some soft, gentle harp music over that. That was cool.
Because
all right,
they're your child.
All right, well,
That's
if y'all got, I don't know if y'all was expecting a bunch of like a list and some homework and some bunch of
notes,
tips and tips and I said tips. Woo, Lord, tips
you
and
still
notes.
On that breastfeeding, huh?
Yeah, I'm still on the breastfeeding part. Nah, we really just wanted to encourage y'all. This is really just a video just saying, hey, listen, it's normal. You're gonna get through this. Like, here's what happened with us. You know, here's how we overcame it, and these are the stages you can expect, so on and so forth. So, you know, if you have any questions, just DM us or just hit us up in the comments, and we'll be more than happy,
for sure,
you know, to answer any questions, because there's a lot of things that just didn't come to mind in this video. But there's gonna be a ton of things that didn't come to mind, and that were like key things and critical points. So please, like, we do it like this so that you guys can interact with us. You can reach out to us, please. Like, comment, subscribe, like, you know, if this video brought any kind of encouragement or help, please share it or hit the bell and all that stuff. It helps. We trying to get to that next phase, y'all. We trying to we got some goals.
I'm about to sneeze. Sorry.
Anyway, love you guys, and we will see you in the next season.
Peace.
See you in season 3.